They're dancing on the graves before the water even recedes. While Texas families pull bodies from the mud and emergency crews work around the clock, the radical left found a way to make this tragedy about race, deportations, and their sick political agenda. And one viral video so vile, so disgusting, it'll make your blood boil. But here's what they don't want you to know. The National Weather Service was fully staffed. Warnings went out days in advance, and the federal response was immediate. Yet somehow they're blaming Trump. The real story of what happened in those early morning hours, who knew what and when, will expose a propaganda machine that has no shame and no soul. Don't look away. Just as Texas rebuilds from devastating floods, our bodies need to rebuild from daily damage. By our 40s, collagen levels drop dramatically, affecting skin, joint, and overall resilience. That's why I use Ageless Multi-Collagen. It contains 5 key types of collagen from 4 premium sources, all hydrolyzed for easy absorption, no clumping, no odor, just smooth blending into your morning routine. While some exploit tragedy for clicks, BioTrust actually helps. Every order feeds hungry children through NoKidHungry.org with a goal of 6 million meals. Just like Texas showed its strength in crisis, you can strengthen your body naturally. No GMOs, no artificial ingredients, just clean support. Visit healthwithgary.com for 51% off, free shipping, and a 60-day guarantee. Because whether facing floods or Father Time, Americans rebuild stronger together. Now, let's find out what is going on here. We have the press secretary just a few hours ago weighing in on this national tragedy in Texas.
They gave out, this is a national tragedy, and the administration is treating it as such. We know the National Weather Service provided early and consistent warnings. They gave out timely flash flood alerts. There were record-breaking lead times in the lead up to this catastrophe. There is ongoing flood monitoring, and these offices were well staffed. In fact, one of the offices was actually overstaffed. They had more people than they need. So any claim to the contrary is completely false. And it's just sad that people are pushing these lies. This is a national tragedy.
And that's what they do. They push lies to push their agenda. Here we have more from the press secretary dispelling the fake news around the National Weather Service staffing in the wake of the weekend's devastating Texas flooding.
Kristen, and what
are there concerns with the White House or from the president himself over the cuts that happened under Musk while he was advising DOGE, including the National Weather Service?
I think I've already addressed that, Kristen, and what I can tell you is that these offices were fully staffed. The San Angelo office was fully staffed with 12 forecast meteorologists. There were no vacancies. The San Antonio office was operating with 11 forecasters. And as Brian said, the union themselves said that there was adequate staffing. So I think those words speak for themselves and the numbers speak for themselves. This was a once-in-a-century flash flood, a tragic natural disaster, and the administration is doing all that we can on the ground to help these families during this time of need.
Are there concerns?
Let's keep going. We have more from the press secretary today. The flood hit in the very early hours of the morning.
Well, the alerts imminently were sent out before the flood when people were sleeping because the flood hit in the very early hours of the morning. So people were sleeping in the middle of the night when this flood came. That was an act of God. It's not the administration's fault that the flood hit when it did. But there were early and consistent warnings. And again, the National Weather Service did its job. On July 2nd, there were initial notices of potential weather and flooding risks were issued. On July 3rd, escalating warnings throughout the day with a flood watch issued at 1:18 p.m. And then later at 6:10 p.m. on July 3rd, the Weather Prediction Center warned of excessive rainfall and a high likelihood of flash flooding. At 6:22 p.m. July 3rd, National Weather Center issued a hydraulic warning highlighting considerable flooding risks, including in Kerrville County. And then there were the timely flash flood alerts at 11:41 p.m., 1:14 a.m., and then another flash flood emergency warning issued at 4:03 a.m. just before the flood hit. So those were all of the warnings that went out to the affected area and region. Well, flash flood. I want to start by addressing the devastation from the tragic flash floods in Texas. Moments ago, the Department of Homeland Security provided an update that 91 innocent souls have now perished. Everyone here at the White House, including the President of the United States, is praying for the victims' families and friends during this unimaginable time. President Trump swiftly signed a major disaster declaration for Kerr County, Texas, to ensure our heroic first responders have every resource they need in the relief and recovery efforts. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem traveled to Texas over the weekend, and the entire Trump administration is working hand in glove with state and local officials to provide every assistance available. The situation on the ground remains dangerous, and there could be additional public safety threats with potential incoming heavy rain. So we encourage everyone in the area to remain vigilant, listen to all warnings, and respond accordingly. Unfortunately, in the wake of this once-in-a-generation natural disaster, we have seen many falsehoods pushed by Democrats such as Senator Chuck Schumer and some members of the media. Blaming President Trump for these floods is a depraved lie, and it serves no purpose during this time of national mourning. Here are the facts. In the lead up to this tragic natural disaster, the National Weather Service did its job. Despite unprecedented rainfall, the National Weather Service executed timely and precise forecasts and warnings. On July 3rd, the National Weather Service office in Austin, San Antonio, Texas, conducted forecast briefings for emergency management in the morning and issued a flood watch in the early afternoon. Flash flood warnings were also issued on the night of July 3rd and in the early morning of July 4th, giving preliminary lead times of more than 3 hours before flash flooding conditions occurred. And the National Weather Service office in New Braunfels, which delivers forecasts for Austin, San Antonio, and the surrounding areas, had extra staff on duty during the storms, despite claims of the contrary. So
they had these alarms going off while most people were sleeping. And that's why they didn't get the alarms. And here we have libs of TikTok. Oh, goodness. TikToker says young girls died in the Texas flood because of racism and because illegals are being deported. Wow.
YT people will have to DIE in order for motherfuckers to what? I'm going to say it because y'all scary as fuck and I don't give a damn. Them little girls, them people died because of racism, not politics. Boom, I said it. I don't give a fuck. And am I sad? No. Nope. Because more YT people will have to DIE in order for motherfuckers to what? CARE. I said what the fuck I said. I don't give a fuck and minds are here with me.
Okay, enough of her. Total trash. This is apparently what they're calling the best video of the flooding in Texas. I don't even know how you can call it the best, but we'll take a look and see for yourself.
Right back up. Girl, back up. Wow. Look right. Get over here, too. That's the craft already, 4 foot. Okay, let's go back. Juanita. Wow. Juanita, move back.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be just standing there pointing. I mean, you're staring death right in the face. I mean, the state trooper is standing there filming it all. You have civilians standing there watching it all unfold. I mean, if I was that state trooper, I would be like, get out now. Evacuate. It's not time for taking YouTube videos.
Come back further. Next time we close the road down for a minute. Then we're done.
Holy crap. Wait up.
The best video, they claim, right there. Here we have, this is 8 hours ago, Kerr County Sheriff delivers heartbreaking update on Texas flood. The White House just said 91. At the time of this report, 75 dead, including 27 children. Oh, man.
We recovered 70 are ongoing throughout Kerr County. We're using assets from local, state, and national first responders. Hundreds of trained first responders are working every aspect of this emergency. As of 8:30 this morning, we recovered 75 deceased bodies here in Kerr County, including 48 adults and 27 children. Of this 48 adults and 27 children, 15 adults and 9 children are pending identification. At present, there are 10 campers from Camp Mystic unaccounted for and 1 counselor. We continue to offer our condolences to those affected. Reuniting the families remain our top priority here on this operation. Please note that Highway 39 of an Old Ingram Loop remains closed to the public. Other than those who live in that area would not be allowed out there.
Absolutely heartbreaking tragedy unfolding in Texas. And, of course, you have people like this woman here spewing vile, vile things, heartless, godless, soulless things about those children. I mean, you can look at the evil in her face. I mean, look at the evil in her face. I mean, what are those things on her cheeks? Radio antennas? I mean, this woman is just pure freaking evil, man. Let's take a look. Secretary Noem weighing in about 11 hours ago on the flooding.
The governor and the emergency. Well, this is a horrific situation, Lawrence. I mean, you're seeing it firsthand today. I was there on Saturday and spent my time with the governor and the emergency management responders and a lot of the families that have been impacted. Some of the parents of those kiddos at Camp Mystic as well. It was absolutely devastating. So we responded immediately as soon as the request came in with Coast Guard assets, with Customs and Border Protection assets that were specially trained for these kind of rescue missions. Also, FEMA has been activated and at an enhanced level. The partnership between the federal government and the state and those local officials is very tight and working hard to make sure that we're bringing some relief to these families and finding people and reuniting people with victims of this flood as soon as possible. But it is, make no mistake, how tragic the situation is. And the president is fully engaged and willing to do all that he can to help the people of Texas through this because it is a national situation that everybody's hearts are just broken over.
But the left would go ahead and politicize this at every opportunity they can. Here we have more. Heartbreaking to see people laughing and recording, unaware of the extreme danger.
You do? They said it's coming.
I see it rushing.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here it comes.
Should we run?
Yeah, let's not play.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, I see it. Mom, hurry.
Look, it's all wet. It's all water all up in there.
Look at, there's water behind him too.
Get out of the way, baby.
Mama, you're
You see it coming?
And at least he didn't spill his beer. I mean, the fact that, first of all, people are out there filming this. Of course, their own curiosity is going to get the best of them. They're going to want to see it for themselves. Natural disasters and these types of things. You know, even when the tornado sirens go off around here, I love to go look at the weather, and I'm monitoring it very closely. We've had tornadoes come very close to where I'm sitting, but I understand it. But at the same time, when you have something that is this definitive right there in front of you, and people are just like running at it with a camera, it's just silly. But what's even worse is that you have the left politicizing this, claiming that Doge cuts are what caused this. And that's why people are dead, because Elon Musk cut back on the weather service. And you just heard the White House at the beginning of this report pushing back on all those leftist claims. So say a prayer for these families, and of course, for all the first responders out there, that they can, get this under control. Supposedly there's more flash flood warnings in effect. So if you're in those areas, please seek shelter effectively and just be safe out there. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is how low they've sunk. Young girls die in a natural disaster, and before their families can even grieve, the left weaponizes their deaths for political points. As you saw, that one TikToker actually said that more white people need to die for anyone to care. I mean, think about that level of evil. The truth? San Angelo had 12 meteorologists on duty. San Antonio had 11. Warnings went out July 2nd, intensified July 3rd. The flood hit in the early morning hours, and every protocol was in fact followed. Every warning was issued. The Trump administration treated it as a national tragedy that it was. No politics, just action. But the race baiters and the Trump haters could not help themselves. They had to lie, had to divide, had to exploit dead children for their own narrative. So here's the question. Should social media platforms, should they ban users who exploit natural disasters for racial division? Or is that simply free speech? Comment below. And you can support Real American Values by going to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.